This is a nice gentle opening sequence to practice maybe in the first thing in the morning or after work, where your body just needs to open up. So we are going to come into child's pose, sitting the knees nice and wide, bum back to the heels and stretching the arms out in front of us. If you're not comfortable bringing the head all the way down, you can put one hand on top of the other and just rest here. So we're going to take a good few big deep breaths here and see if you can, on an inhale through the nose, really feel the breath coming into the whole lungs. So feeling your ribs expand, the front, the back of the ribs, and the left and the right. So big deep breath in through the nose and a long exhale out through the nose or the mouth. And we're going to stay here for a few minutes if you have, or just a couple of breaths. And then from here in a moment, we're going to come up to downward facing dog. So curling the toes under and popping the bum up in the air. So with down dog, you want to press the hands down into your mat, particularly the thumb and the first finger. You can bend the knees and really get a nice stretch through the whole back here, or bend the legs one at a time. But you're bringing your hips up into the air so your back is nice and flat. Your shoulders should be behind your wrists and really pressing the heels towards the floor if their legs are straight, and the sitting bones up in the bum all the way up to the sky. And then coming down and resting back into child's pose here. So ideally you want to take maybe 3 to 5 breaths in down dog, or if you're pregnant when you're doing this, it is suitable and it's fine, but some people feel a little bit uncomfortable in this type of a position. So if it's not right for you, come back down, or if you've high blood pressure, don't attempt an inversion like this. So you're just going to go up and down a couple of times into down dog. So you want to try and get your back as straight as possible, bending the knees if you need to, particularly if you're pregnant. We're really just thinking about this for a back stretch, but if you're a little more flexible, you can straighten the legs completely, pushing the heels towards the floor, really strengthening through the quads at the front of the thighs, pressing your hands down into your mat or wherever you are, and then coming back down into child's pose. Just making sure that you don't hold your breath, which is quite common up in downward facing dog. So in child's pose is a resting restorative pose. If you want to make it a little bit more active, you can stretch your hands out in front of you and almost claw the fingers into your mat, pressing the chest towards the floor. So big deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose or the mouth here. Some people in child's pose prefer to bring their arms down by their sides, and whatever feels good for you too. So from here we're going to go into thread the needle. So we're going to come back up and have the knees nice and wide, bum to the heels, and then stretch the left hand out in front of you and bring the right hand palm facing to the ceiling. And we're going to slide it kind of underneath the left armpit if you like, and then try and get that right shoulder to the floor. Now the knees do need to be quite wide here, particularly if you're pregnant. And then from here try and stretch the left arm straight out in front of you and trying to open in between the back of the shoulder blades, the upper back here. So full big deep breath. It's important to say that if you can't get your head down to the floor or your shoulder to the floor, don't force it. Just come down for a moment and then come back up. And then we're going to go the other side. So bring the left hand close towards you to come out of it, and then swap sides. So your right hand is out in front, the left shoulder is coming to the floor, and you're trying to then stretch your right hand out in front of you. So the right arm's nice and long, and the head is resting to the floor, bum to the heels. Try and rest in the pose and really feel the breath coming into the back of the rib cage. Again, the knees need to be nice and wide. If you can't get all the way down, don't worry. Bring the right hand close towards you, push on the floor to come out of it. And then from here, we're going to come back to the hands and the knees and have the shoulders on top of the wrists, and we're going to go into cat-cow. So breath up, breath in to look up, and exhale round the back, chin to the chest, so the top of the back comes up to the ceiling. You're exhaling here, and then as you inhale, you're looking back up. The bum goes up, the belly goes down. So each time you can do this completely at your own pace. You're inhaling to look up, dipping the belly down, exhaling, tailbone goes down, and you're really rounding the top of the back up to the ceiling. And then inhaling fresh breath, tipping through the pelvis here. So you're just going up and down a couple of times, never forceful. This is really nice for the back, particularly at the end of the day or as you get out of bed when the body's just a little bit stiff. So you're going to roll yourself back up to sit here and then come into a side stretch. So we're going to press the right hand down just about a foot away from our knee, and then slowly take that left leg out to the side. So your body is in one long line, and then lift the arm up, and that left arm reaches all the way over. So your heart is lifting up to the ceiling, your left shoulder is leaning slightly back, and you have a big, lovely couple of deep breaths in here. It's a really nice stretch for the whole left side. Slowly coming down to go to the other side. So you bring that left hand out alongside your knee, and then slowly bringing that right foot, and the same thing here. If you want, you can lean on something on that left hand. So maybe if you have a yoga block or just, books or something, if it's too far to the floor, or come up onto your fingertips. So you should be relaxing the shoulders here and very slightly lifting that right shoulder back, coming all the way back down. And then we're going to roll ourselves all the way up to stand, bending the knees and drawing the body up. We're going to go through some slow sun salutations. Lift the heart to the ceiling, arms up. Exhale all the way, hands to the floor, or bend the knees here. So just hang out here, stretching through the back, through the legs, bending the knees or having them straight, whatever feels comfortable. And then we're stretching the back. So hands can either be on the floor or to the legs to stretch the back. And then bring the legs all the way back to plank position, pushing through the heels. If full plank is too much for you, particularly if you're pregnant and you're not used to it, come to your knees. So you're still drawing in through the tummy here. And then whatever position you're coming down to chaturanga, bending the elbows either on full legs or to the knees, lowering the whole body down. Then an upward facing dog, shoulders back, curl the knees, you can curl the toes, you can bend the knees as well, and you're back to down dog. So just like before, you want to get that lovely stretch through the whole body here. Lift the right leg up in the air, pull in the tummy, and bring that right foot in between the hands, and bring the left foot to meet. So you're stretching out your back to look up, and then bending the knees and bringing the arms all the way up, breath in, and all the way back down. So we're going to try that again. So go at your own pace. These are really nice to open up the body. Sun salutation. Inhale up. Exhale all the way, hands either to the floor or to your legs, whatever you can stretch to. Straightening out through the legs, your chest lifts to the ceiling, or out in front of you anyway, and then press the hands down. Exhale, step back to plank. One long line in plank, that the body is in one long line. You're pulling in through your tummy. Your bum isn't sticking up in the air, nor are you letting the hips, drag down to the floor. So it's one long line here. Again, come to the knees if you need to, always hugging in through the tummy. If you're pregnant, I'd come to the knees. And then down to chaturanga, elbows in by your sides, lowering the whole body down. Upward facing dog, shoulders back, and then you're coming back to a downward facing dog here. You're going to lift up the left leg, pull in the tummy, and reach that leg up in between the hands. Don't worry if it takes a little while to get the leg in between the hands. So you're inhaling to look up, exhaling the hands back, the head back down towards the hands, and then inhale the body all the way up and exhale down. So we'll just do that once more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands to the floor or to your legs. Inhale to look up and breathe in. So you're stretching out the back, taking your time. And exhale, hands to the floor, coming back to plank pose, either full plank or bending the knees. Particularly if you've had a baby as well, you might do this from the knees. So upward facing dog, the hips are off the floor, shoulders are back, and then back down to your downward facing dog here. So you might need to move the feet a little to get comfortable in down dog. So again, full deep breaths, making sure you're never holding your breath in down dog. Sitting bones are lifting up to the ceiling. Lift the right leg up again, back in between the hands or up towards the hands anyway. Straighten the back to look up. Exhale, head back towards the legs, and then bend the knees, reaching the body all the way up. Big breath in, and hands all the way back down. I hope you really enjoyed that short opening sequence. Please do subscribe to the YouTube channel and do give me a little like, and I will see you very soon.